Well, yeah, that's a pretty simple story. I hated hippies.
Man.
The Amboy Dukes, back when we started, it was back when I started playing guitar, there was no such thing as tours. I guess you had the four freshmen who would go play at coffee houses. We're talking like 1950s. You'd have your Motown review, your sax review with Wilson Pickett and Sam and Dave. They'd go out on these tours, but there was no such thing as rock and roll concerts. There really wasn't any such thing. You'd have, the Big Bopper and the original rock and roll guys in the very original days. They were the pioneers. There was no such thing prior to the 50s. So when I was born and I had my bands, it was all new territory. We were Lewis and Clark of music. So you get VFW halls, you'd rent them out, and you'd sell tickets for 50 cents a piece, and you'd pay for your gas and maybe solder for fixing your guitar cords, And that you learn. And by the time I graduated from high school in '67, it was exploding because the Stones and the Beatles and all this American rock band. All of a sudden, now you got the Grateful Dead and the Quicksilver Messenger Service, and you got the all these hippie, stinky, drooling puke bands. And I knew I was different than them because we showed up on time and we really played good. And my band was so good, but it was also the experimenting era of pop festivals, rock festivals. And we played them all. We played Kickapoo Creek, there's 100,000 people. We played Stevens Point, Wisconsin, 100,000 people. We played Saugatuck, Michigan, 200,000 people. We played the fairgrounds, 100,000 people. We played all these outdoor festivals, and it was all run by dope-smoking idiot hippies. Schedules were all fucked up, amplifiers weren't working, people were spilling shit and smoking dope on stage and falling down and ruining everything, and I hated them. Sometimes they tried not to pay me, and I'd just fucking pound them and take all the money. My brother and I, my younger brother John worked with me back then, and these guys would try selling T-shirts with my name on it. We'd just beat the shit out of them. We'd take all the fucking T-shirts and sell them ourselves. We got a prop because we didn't pay to have them made. But if you sell something with Ted Nugent's name on it, whose money is that? That'd be my fucking money. Yep. And if you haven't got my permission, I get all the money plus your blood. We were ruthless. In fact, I don't know if it was 60 Minutes or 2020, they did a special where my brother John and I went around Madison Square Garden. All these fucking bootleggers were selling my shirts at the Madison Square Garden concert. And these were all mafia people. And we just went out there and just beat the shit out of them and took all the fucking T-shirts. It was fucking awesome. So now it's 69, and I've been playing these festivals, and nobody goes out on time. It stinks, puking and drooling and hippies, just filth. Irresponsible, anti-music idiots. And nobody ever got paid. I got the money because I'd get in the fucking office and take it. But when they offered me to do Woodstock, I went, yeah, we'll do Woodstock. We get $5,000 a night, and you make the check out to ADI Incorporated, Amboy Dukes Incorporated. We don't pay in advance. I go, have a nice fucking day. We don't play unless you do pay in advance, you fucking hippie. So I just made the decision, we'll never do anything we don't get paid in advance. It's the only way you can pay the bills. So I was invited to do Woodstock, and I turned it down. And though there were magical moments there, because somebody did do it right sometime, Jimi Hendrix goes on 8 hours late. The Who goes on 10 hours late. Jimi Hendrix plays for 10% of the audience because they couldn't even coordinate the schedule. I find that extremely rude and disrespectful to great musicians and their bands and crew. So I wouldn't play those games. And I'm not sorry I didn't play Woodstock. I'm not one bit sorry.
I think I heard you telling that story on Bob and Tom show.
I did, yeah. And I remember it because I was clean and sober. So I remember all the details. Those were exciting times, man. God almighty, we played 300 concerts a year.